providing the American public with answers. This is both outrageous, unbelievable, and it tempts people to thinking that the worst has happened, that government is never on the level, and this is just going to be a full-blown conspiracy cloud that needs to be put to rest immediately.
Well, that's what the Wall Street Journal editorial this morning wrote, that this is one more reason why Americans don't trust their government.
Right.
But Jonathan Lemire, you've got to give the president credit. He did jump right into the issue immediately and took to Twitter and got involved. What did he do?
Well, the president has long trafficked in conspiracy theories. He, of course, was at the forefront of the birtherism movement, in which he claimed Barack Obama was not born in the United States, which was a racist lie, even beyond a conspiracy theory. But even before he just became a politician, and since then, we know he talked about Ted Cruz's father perhaps being involved with the JFK assassination and others, and he was quick to do so here as well. That within just hours after Epstein's death was reported, he took to Twitter and retweeted a couple of conspiracy theories that suggested that his predecessor, Bill Clinton, perhaps was involved with this death. You know, the president himself didn't say these things. He's quick to hide behind the idea that it's just a retweet. He's done that in the past when he's put up inflammatory things. But I think this really needs to be focused on here. This is a moment where the nation is obviously very upset at learning whatever Epstein has done over the last, decades of his life, and as more and more has come out in the last few weeks when this has become a front-page story again. And we know that Donald Trump knew him. We knew that President Clinton knew him, both socially. We don't know the extent necessarily of those relationships. We don't know exactly what happened. But the president is using a moment of national confusion when a lot of people are upset, and certainly Epstein's victims are being denied that justice. And he used that moment to try to score political points against a predecessor, but also seemingly implicating them in a crime, and including the woman he ran against 2 years ago, who president would preside over chance of lock her up repeatedly, and has threatened to use the Justice Department to exact political retribution and perhaps even arrest her going forward. So it's another sort of galling moment from the president in this moment, and certainly there are lots of questions about the death. Was supposed to check every 30 minutes and didn't. And yesterday, the New York City Medical Examiner put out a report saying the cause of death was simply pending. And that's standard. There's more tests are coming.
Right.
But it's certainly not going to put to ease all these questions we have.
Well, in Caddy K, the president almost does Anthony Scaramucci's work for him when Scaramucci suggests that the president is getting worse. Something Jeffrey Goldberg wrote in the Atlantic last week, which is fairly remarkable when you look at how bad things have gotten, how chaotic things have gotten, how you look at Jonathan Lemire's article from a few weeks ago talking with the Associated Press, talking about how many people around the president say his management style has become even more outrageously unmoored. And then the president caps all of that off by accusing the Clintons of murder. It does just seem to keep getting worse, and the president seems to become more and more unbalanced.
The president has 63 million Twitter followers, so when he retweets conspiracy theories, that is reaching a very wide audience. He knows exactly what he's doing, and sometimes in the past, he's even suggested that his retweets are, as he called it, problematic. But he carries on doing it. He carries on doing it. In this case, he's done it in the case of attacks around the world when we didn't know what the cause were, immediately saying that it was because of Islamic terrorism. It's just not helpful. He's fueling the flames of conspiracy. But let's get the latest on this. This morning, there are still more questions than answers following the apparent suicide of wealthy sex